Hello everybody, it's Mrs Fraser here, and today I'm just going to run through a few ideas for children with sensory needs. These ideas will also work for children who do not have sensory needs, so hopefully you like them and you give them a go and let me know how you get on. So the first thing I would suggest is, if your child or children are struggling with the change of routine, which I know a lot of us are, my own son included, I would suggest something like a visual timetable. So it's normally just, you make it out of A4 paper. There's lots online. If you Google for them, you can print them out. And it is literally the days of the week, and it just shows what the routine is going to be like. All you do is you get like the days of the week. You could separate it into morning and afternoon. You could do it hourly. You could do it by what activity you're going to do that day. But it's worthwhile having a look at. As I said, if you go on Google, type in visual timetable, lots will appear just to give you ideas. It doesn't have to be fancy. You can make it out of post-it notes if you want to. It's just whatever you've got with you, whatever you can find. Another idea is the now and next system. So we use this in school as well as the visual timetables, and there's no surprises with this. There's no, oh, we're going to go and do this now, and the child's kind of like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So it's just another way of, it's more fine-tuned than the visual timetable. So you can actually have both, that's fine, or you can just have this or just the timetable. So what this is you could break this down as much as you want. You can say, for example, we're going to have lunch, then we're going to read a story. Another idea is the I Spy sheet. I used to do this a lot with my own son when he was much smaller. But this is another way of taking in the environment around you. So I used to make these actually before we go out on walks, and I used to have a little stack of them. My son would take them. There they are. Here's an example of one. This is one for that you could take on your 1 hour of exercise a day. You can take it on your walk with you. What I used to do is get a piece of cardboard about the same size as the A4 sheet, 2 holes in the top, a little bit of string, attach a pen or a pencil to it, and then just stick this to that, so it acted like a little clipboard that they could kind of take around. And he used to feel really important on his walk, looking out for, finding the letter A in the street names, finding the number 3 on houses, finding something blue. So we just used to use whatever we knew would be on the route we were taking. If you can't get out, if you don't have a garden, another way of doing this is doing it around the house. So I've also done this as well with my son. So here we go. So just okay, so can you go and find me a toothbrush? Can you go and find me something with the letter E? Can you find me a pen? Can you find me something purple? So it's just a really good way, and they just check it off with their little pen or pencil. It's just a really good way of getting them to take in the environment that's around them. You can also add to these, tell me something you can hear, something you can see, something you can smell, something you can feel. Okay, so they're 2 simple ideas. So you don't have to be a master artist for this. You don't have to be great at drawing. I certainly am not. You could even ask the child to draw what they think they might see on their walk, and then they can check them off. Next, what I've got is a sensory bag. Now, at school we have like a pre-made sensory bag with lots of different things in it, but it's really easy to make one yourself. You might have heard of sensory basket before. You don't have to use a bag. So literally I've got a drawstring bag here, and I just went around my house and picked up as many different textures as I could possibly find. So we've got things like a Lego figure, so I'm just going to pop it in the bag. I found this rather cute bow with a really glittery texture, hard texture, that goes in the bag. Scrunched up tin foil because it's also noisy, so it's, we are using all of our senses here. A comb, don't know if you can hear that. Okay, fluffy pair of socks because it's quite soft and squidgy and it's quite nice, so we're putting that in. even a rubber glove, a pair of rubber gloves, just one of them, rubber glove, obviously whatever you've got around the house. A whisk, that's a nice one as well. I've got one of my son's little sensory toys here. Oops. So it's just a little wiggly worm thing, so that's going in. Brush, any kind of brush really. Nail brushes are great. They really provide kind of they're quite tactile, so you quite often find if your child is sensory seeking, any kind of brush is really good for them. Any kind of material, as many different textures as possible. So that's a really good one. And also one of these. Now this is a sequin cushion. So you can push them both ways. I think I got this in a local supermarket. This is actually really relaxing. A lot of children, when we use this in school, a lot of the children they could just sit there for hours, just going back and forth. Now obviously my son's got a pillow of this, but also, you know, a top. He's also got a top with flossing on it, but it's also sequins, so it works just the same. So, you know, anything you've got around the house really, pop it all in the bag. Okay, so any old bag will do. Ask the child to close their eyes. They pop their hand in the bag, feeling around. They'll ask them to choose one thing. They can feel it, they can't look at it. They've got to rely on their sense of touch. What do you think that might be? What do you think it's made of? Okay, how big do you think that is? Let's see if you're right. Well done. It's a tiny piece of tin foil. And, you know, yeah, they might cheat. Yeah, they might have a little look, but just go with it. It's supposed to, you know, it's fun. It's all about exploring different textures. So I hope you found that helpful. There are a few different ideas. And stay safe, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye.